Vincent Hewlett, Propel activist. I'm outside Clifton Street Police Station today. This is Clifton Street. Clifton Street is half a mile away from Queen Street, which is Cardiff's capital shopping centre of Wales. Now you wouldn't think so, because I've been speaking to more residents and more local shopkeepers, and they're all saying the same thing. Clifton Street is like it's a lawless community. Yeah, there's drones of people going around, openly taking substances, doing what they want when they want. They're shoplifting, shopkeepers are intimidated to try and do anything. You know, probably a lot of stuff doesn't get reported to police, you know, because people have lost trust in police these days, which is not a good thing really. You know, as you can see, there's a riot van behind me, and Clifton Street it's got to be about 300 yards long. Yeah, and there's a lot of chaos going down here. Now, what you've got to think of is, what message is this putting out to the younger generation? Yeah, that people can do what they want, when they want, even with police present, and there's no consequences. You know, this is going to have a big knock-on effect. Prevention is better than cure. Now, you know, local residents want to do something. You know, they want to get together and take actions into their own hands and try and clean up the streets a bit, which I don't blame them really. But here's some solutions. You know, what happened to police power? What happened to banning orders? What happened to no begging orders? What happened to prevention? You know, what happened like, you know, why has this got so bad, and why has it been allowed to continue? You know, no one's seen any councillors or politicians down here trying to make a difference. You know, it's a bad situation, and it's a bad message that's going out to the younger generation and the Adamsdown community, the people who've lived here all their lives. You know, they deserve better. They do deserve better. You know, there's other remedies, like, you know, there's other solutions you could use. You know, maybe hire some security. You know, it'd be cheaper than getting police to come up and down here every hour, even though there's a police station here and there's a riot van behind me. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, where's police powers gone? Why haven't they not using their powers to try and make a better community? Because it's not a safe environment for people to bring their families and children down here shopping. Local businesses are suffering, and local residents has had enough. You know, so this goes out to all politicians and all councillors. You know, you need to do something for the local residents. It will be more more costly in the future if the problem is not sorted, because it's going to have a whole knock-on effect for the whole community. Police present and they're not doing nothing, and people allowed to do what they want when they want and terrorise local businesses. It's not a good message going out, you know. So I hope local councillors and politicians take a little bit of information on board to make Adamsdown a better place for local residents, because the local residents deserve better. They do. You know, this is not on. So please everybody, repost this as much as you can. Get this out far and wide. The more exposure, the more chance you've got of making Adamsdown a better place. Thank you.